Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sovereign Body Language. This is a face and body reading lab number one, numero uno. And for this one, I invited a very special person in my life, somewhat like my second mother, I must say, even though she lovingly would never allow me to be her daughter. And I wanted you to meet her and to interact with her and see how magical she is. And so, yeah, why don't I just pass it over to Carole and she can play.
Play? Am I playing? First of all, you're talking about art. That's my latest artist piece.
Ooh, lovely,
And it's called
beautiful.
dot art. You can use just like
Nice.
any end of an eraser, like a pencil eraser, or I use the glue sticks, all the different sizes, and it actually looks like little nipples on each one because you pull up. So it creates this little
Nice.
nipple. So
It's acrylic, right?
yeah. And
Nice.
there's a woman that teaches it on the mountain here. So
Wonderful. So
anyways, well, for
where do
those of
you live,
you,
Carole? What mountain is it?
I live in Costa Rica and I live on Mount Chirripó, which is the highest mountain in Central America. And if you climb it, you can see the Pacific and the Atlantic at the same time. And there's rivers. I live right on Rio Chirripó, which is Chirripó Mountain, right? And that's the main river. And there's a river, it also goes to the Pacific and the Atlantic, which creates an anoid and a cathode, like a battery. So that creates this vortex here. And yeah, I have a retreat center. It's called heavenandearthsanctuary.com. And I have 6 houses here and a couple of cabinas. So I do my trainings here. Plus, I rent it out for other facilitators to run their retreats here. And also, yeah, I've been teaching psychosomatic therapy for 25 years. I had the honor of working with the founder and director of the college, Hermann Müller, who passed away in 2017. And now his wife, Mari, has taken over the college. And so I've read thousands of faces at expos right across Canada and the United States. And it's been quite a journey, through psychosomatic, because when back in the year, what was it, 2000, I'd read the Celestine prophecy. So, oh boy, I better go on my spiritual journey because I owned a restaurant, a bistro and blues bar for 14 years in Southern Alberta, the 51st state. And which is good. They're signing petitions yesterday and they were way down the block, people, Alberta will separate. Yeah, and side note, yeah, it's a long story, but I'll give you the short version. I was supposed to promote this gentleman coming from Australia, and the plane got sidetracked, and there was a snowstorm, so I didn't run a workshop in Lethbridge for him, and I only had one person call me, and they said, it was called Messages from the Shambhala, and they asked me, what's a Shambhala? I says, hell if I know, I guess we'll find out, right? This is back in the year 2000. And so, yeah, I went to his introduction evening a couple of days later in Calgary. A friend of mine and I went up to see him, and there was this little funny little man at the front of the room. And the moment he looked at someone, he could read right through them and they would have a huge emotional release. And I says, whatever that man can do, I'm going to learn. So needless to say, I signed up for his whole workshop because sold my bar a year before that. And I'd taken a year off to, what am I going to do next? I thought it was biofeedback, but that takes you back in your head, right? And so anyways, I went to his workshop and we all learned to read a face in a day, and that was fascinating. And then I did the body mind analysis, and that was at that time was a 2 day workshop, 2 day program, and now it's 3 because there's just so much more information and whatever, it was like we paired up and we had to read each other, and as we're learning. And then we have to read our report at the end of the day in front of the whole room, what we saw in the other person's body. And we'd filled out, a 7-page report, and all the drawings and stuff of what we saw in the other person's body, where the tissue was, and maybe lack of tissue, hollowing, and put this whole thing together. And it was like my soul said to me, whatever you're dealing with emotionally, you're going to deal with it now. And so it was getting closer and closer. We were the last ones to read, the last pair to read, and I still had nothing on my piece of paper. And of course, this energy is bubbling up inside of me and bubbling up, like. And what happened, he looked me straight in the eye when it was our turn, and I just burst into tears. And I cried out, 42 years of pent up anger, pain, resentment, every emotion possible. It's like I'd been caught. And what happened is I went whirling back to grade 2, and I'd been wrongfully accused of cheating in a spelling test. And I hated English from there on in. And I would barely pass English, even though I'd get 90s and 100s in biology and chemistry. But, people say you're dumb, right? And I couldn't get into nursing school because of that reason. So, yeah, I mean, my body poured in sweat, and it was like thousands of rubber bands uh, snapping inside of me. And it was um, it was like all of that energy. It takes a lot of energy to hide something what we don't like about ourselves, or that's an insecurity within ourselves. And that came whirling out. And even I had the bistro for 14 years. Never once would I even run my staff meeting because I was terrified of public speaking and even reading out loud or anything. And never mind, get on stage. And never once did I take my stage either. And then ever since then, I mean, I moved through it. That came out of me, and I can spell just fine ever since. Now you can't get me off a stage. And I love public speaking. And so, yeah, these are, to work through our own insecurities and then to connect them to the subconscious mind, which your body is the subconscious mind, where we've held these things. And when we can, that transformation is within us. And yeah, and then I went to Australia to do another retreat with him called The Living Soul and Towards the Light, him and his wife, and more and more stepping into my own power. And while I was there, I was sitting in his office, and the woman that was promoting him in Alberta had sent him an email and said she was no longer promoting him. And he looked up because I was sitting, I was having a session with him or something. He looked up at me, "You're my promoter." And I said, "Oh, no, I don't know how to promote. I'm no, 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 no." Right. And so finally, he did convince me. And then that was the first time I didn't even have a computer. I didn't have a fax machine. So and that's 26 years ago now, 25, 26. Yeah, and then I started, he says, "Of course you know how to promote. You've got a blues bar, and I was promoting, I had the best musicians from all across Canada, and the folk club play and poetry clubs would come, and I had a beautiful place. It was, you know, 3 wood-burning fireplaces, all hardwood floors, and a huge mahogany bar, but no games, no TV. I took the TVs out. The only games they had in there was backgammon and chess. And so it was a place for conversation and connecting with people. So, because I'd noticed so many, when there is a TV or something, then, wife and a husband coming out for an evening out, and they want to, I was right next door to the biggest theater in Lethbridge at the time. And so they would go out on a date, but the, husband would be sitting there glaring at the TV, and the woman would sit there. Once we took the TVs out, they were actually have conversation. And, that really makes a difference for people. So that's kind of, yeah, I lived in Lethbridge, then I moved to Calgary for 10 years. And that's when Agnieszka, when I read through her body on an information evening, the next day she comes to see me and says, "I want to work for you, I want to work for you," or something like this. And then I just remember, okay, I'll hire you, but just remember, I don't say please or thank you. Get over it. So we were kind of Agnieszka's all about getting pleases and thank you. So it was a good exercise for her. And she kept me straight. She's very organized and amazing at what she does, and her transformation through this work also. So it's so beautiful to see her step into her power. Come here. Oh, I want to show you my pussycat. This is my new little copper.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. How she got her name, she sits
What a,
underneath my copper machine
what a
filtration.
sweetheart. She's so
Yeah.
cute.
And she's so
Beautiful.
loving. She has to sleep in my arms every night. And I've had her for maybe a month and a half now, but she's getting big. She was a kitten.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
She eats more than I do, so it's like
She's
anyways,
growing.
that's sort of how it all went. Moved to Vancouver after Calgary because I says, why am I having this huge space? And I'm traveling all across Canada and United States and living in suitcases and hotel rooms all look the same after a while. Airports, that's not really a fun way of traveling. I mean, to meet the people is wonderful, but so I thought, I moved to Vancouver. Well, you can't even buy a one-bedroom apartment above a Tim Hortons in some, uh, suburb of Vancouver. So I said, hey, I can buy 10 acres in Costa Rica. And so I just kind of threw a arrow or like a dart at a map, and this place was called Heaven and Earth Sanctuary. I came down here, gave them an offer, and that was 8 years ago. And lots have changed in 8 years, and especially during the shutdown. Every morning I'd get up and say, how the F did I even get here? I'm living in paradise and everyone else is out there, right? So the life force is so strong here. We are the center of the medicine wheel between North America and South America, a country with no military, no army. And so the white dove of peace can land here through the middle of the medicine wheel. So it's been a real vortex for drawing in light workers from all over the world. And we have very strong community here with a lot of musicians and yoga instructors and all sorts on the mountain because we've got a Montessori and a Waldorf school here. So they come from all over the world. We're not like expats, in gated communities and stuff. We live amongst the Ticos. So yeah, so it's been a great move, and yeah. And people come here for their training now, and it's way more powerful than hotel rooms or whatever we would rent out in cities. And because they're so immersed in the work for 2 weeks, 14 days straight, and really transform their life trajectory really changes once they really study themselves and find their own beautiful gifts within themselves and let go of the baggage, emotional baggage from the past. So uh, and being in the jungle, in the life force, in the womb of Mother Nature, it's like she assists in the whole transformation. And I'm right on the river, so people would go, they dip in the river every morning and before class, and yeah, it's really a special place. And I'm built all on sacred geometry, so your face is sacred geometry. A square is a square, round, ovals. It's all part of it. And the previous owner was the first facilitator for the Flower of Life through Drunvaldo Melchizedek out of Sedona. So he started with all the sacred geometry, and I continued. And it was an old rundown permaculture farm. So I've transformed it into beautiful gardens, and not me personally, but my manager, Maritza, she lives at the end of my driveway. Beautiful gift that she was she's lived here on the mountain all her life, besides 11 years in New Jersey, where she worked in a fine dining and also a diner, and she ran a cleaning company, and she loves cooking. So she does everything here. And she takes care of all the gardeners. And I don't know what I was thinking, moving to a country that I can't speak the language and I'm single, right? Um, it's a lot of take on 10 acres, but it's been a real journey. So yeah. So Agnieszka, what do you want? What are you going to present today? That's enough about me. What about you?
I'm
What
not
about you?
presenting today. It's all about meeting you and you meeting them.
Okay.
And maybe you can tell
Okay.
them something about themselves, or maybe, yeah, stuff like that. Or maybe you can tell them about your upcoming courses.
No, I would like everyone to actually introduce themselves and maybe tell me why you want to take a sacred geometry or a sacred body language face reading with Agnieszka. I mean, tell me what sparked your interest, I should say. More of a conversation. There's no presentation.
I'll just start with I love everything that Agnieszka does, and I want to be Agnieszka someday.
Ah, well, it's bringing yourself, if you want to be authentically yourself, and that's, and you've got a good example. I don't like to even use the word leader. So she used the word boss, but I would say she's what is it? A heifer, a heifer, a heifer. You know what a heifer is, Agnieszka?
Yes, I do speak Spanish, not like you.
Yeah. Agnieszka's very good at languages, and I think that was part of it. I have a mental block to Spanish. I says English is my third language, body language the first, Starbucks is the second, and third is English. So fourth I can say a few words in Spanish.
And what is a hafa or a heifer?
Means boss. I always
Boss,
feel
okay.
like, yeah, what are you calling me? A heifer? Like a cow? You know? Heifer. Yeah. So
I
Ruth,
also met,
oh, is that John?
No, that
no,
was
that's
Philip.
Philip. Oh, yes. I also met Agnieszka in 2017 or so, I would say. And I was really impressed by her naturality, authenticity and spontaneity. And then I did a first couple of workshops she gave, I think in 2020 on face reading. And then she was amazing at it. And I had collected a picture from a guy in Africa, and she could totally say what he was about. And it was true because I had seen him in the video. So it was a totally unknown guy. So I was really impressed.
Well, structure equals performance, what the person's built for. And, the bone structure is the blueprint of our soul. And
Okay.
yeah, it's the densest part of our spirit, manifested spirit. And they didn't screw up on the other side. They
Wow.
sent you to the right body, to the right environment, to the right parents for your soul's learning. And
Okay.
they did screw up on one thing. They forgot to send you with an owner's manual. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they sent it to us.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
What's your name?
My name is Philip.
Philip. Okay, yeah.
Philip Bakker from Holland. Yeah.
Ah, Dutch.
Yes.
Friesland. I've been to Friesland.
Yeah. Ah, okay. My parents are Fries.
Oh, really? I think that's where the
Yes.
Mennonites started, and Friesen is von the Riesen from
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Friesland. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. But you don't speak Frisian.
No, I don't speak Low German either.
Okay.
I find German way easier than Spanish because at
Hmm.
least they separate their words. Here they just, brrr, I don't, have no idea what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Hmm. Okay, but interesting that your bones already say a lot too. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, your bones are like the blueprint of what you're here to do, right? So
Okay.
depending how your bone structure is, because all the soft tissue you can control with your thoughts, but the
Hmm.
bones you cannot change, right? They do not change throughout your life. Maybe a little bit, but
Okay, interesting. That would be good
Well,
to
we see
dive
if
into that.
we can see if you're a Mack truck or a Ferrari. So you're built for performance, what you're built for. Just don't take your Ferrari 4x4. I mean, each has a different purpose, or don't lock it in the garage, the Ferrari, because it's so sensitive. You just got to
Hmm.
weave amongst these square jawed people.
Yeah.
I'm a 4x4.
And what am I?
Well, you're a lot more sensitive. Maybe you're a pacer or something. No, Rolls Royce. How about a Rolls Royce?
Well, sounds good.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Is this the first class, or you said number one, Agnieszka?
No, this is the sixth class, but I did
Oh, okay.
Agnieszka gave a couple of 2 years ago or 3 years ago. She also gave a couple.
Yeah. Oh, good. Anyone else?
Carole, I didn't actually meet you in at Mark's event in Ireland. I saw you and heard you on stage. And I think the boys from Truth Stream had posted Agnieszka's link to the Zoom for the classes, and I had kept your leaflet. I thought, oh, I might do that. So that's why I'm on these classes. So.
Oh, wonderful. I'm doing a show with Mark on, or like a Q&A on Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the evening in Ireland, but 1 o'clock here.
Oh, is
So,
it live?
Yeah, it'll be a live Zoom call. We are allowing 100 people to come in because I did a show with Mark maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And I had so much, there was 146 signups for my free ebook, The Body Never Lies. And I had so much response emailing, wanting more information. And so I said, instead of having discovery calls with each person, let's just get some, a question and answer all the questions. And Mark's daughter is coming, Daisy. Mark said he's coming. I don't know which one this year that he'll come to, but depends on his schedule. But his daughter's coming here for 2 months. So yeah, she doesn't know what she wants in her life, and she's like what 22 or something. Did you meet her? She was on stage in Ireland.
I didn't meet her. I saw her there, and she looks younger than that. Actually, I thought she was about 16. Actually, I didn't know she was 20, even 23. So
she's on stage. She was on stage with Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah.
I mixed Michelle up with you, but and by the way, when we stop recording, I will take my camera on. I just don't want to be on YouTube. So that's all. So, okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, Carole. Jonna, nice to meet you. You specifically asked about sacred geometry. So this was a design that I have made for a project that I worked on a while back. And I had known about sacred geometry in the past, but this was the first time that I really put, my own design, whatever, hand to using the principles to put something together. So I've been appreciating your artwork behind you there, and so I thought I'd just share as part of introducing myself.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And so beyond that, I feel like I'm in a place of trying to figure out what it is I'm here to do. I've done quite a diverse basket of activities or whatever, something like that, in my past, and I've at a point where I'm kind of at like a crossroads, I guess, and not even just two. I mean, it's like being dropped in the middle of the woods, and it's like which way to go. So that's where I'm at. I would love to come to the facility down there in Costa Rica. I'm trying to assemble a plan to be able to go to the portal events that Agnieszka is going to be part of as well. So it's tempting to try to daisy chain those maybe.
Yeah, keep coming.
Yeah.
It's easy through Mexico City. Where are you located?
I'm in the Chicago suburbs.
Oh.
So like one flight to Mexico, one flight to Costa Rica from Mexico. That sounds easy.
Mexico City is easy. Yeah. Through Mexico City.
Jonna, I have to tell you, I don't know if I love the way you're describing your current situation, because I see you more like on a yacht, getting onto the ocean, onto the next adventure. You're holding your sword above your head. Your sails are full of wind. You just don't know which way you're going yet. I don't see you like lost in the woods kind of thing.
I love it. Okay. Analogy replaced.
I'm like you're saying Joan of Arc, right? She's Jonna, but with her sword. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel much more like that energy. Like I'm ready to like take off with all the power that I know I have. I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the purpose is, or like what the end destination is. So it is a little bit like same way. It's like an open ocean. Like I can sail at a good clip, but I wonder where we're headed.
But you're not supposed to know what the destination is. You're just supposed to know where the next step. So do you know the next steps?
The purpose, everyone's purpose is the same. You're here to love yourself. That is all our purpose. And then your mission can be different. All our missions are very different, but to love yourself and to let go of the emotional baggage, and then you change your trajectory where you're going to go in life, because you're not weighted down with all the emotional baggage that is stored in the physical body. And a very professional psychosomatic practitioner can read right through a person and tell them all the different things, not the stories. We don't know the stories, but we can say what's stored, what kind of emotion is stored in that part of the body, and then you connect it to your life experiences, and that's when you can let it go. And I always say to find the diamonds in the dog shit is to, it doesn't take affirmations. Affirmations is like putting saran wrap over dog shit. It's you're hiding it if you don't believe it, right? I can say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm intelligent, I'm great, and blah blah blah. But I always say you can focus on the diamonds that you have and use the coal or the shit as fertilizer. And we all need fertilizer, those challenges in our life, in order to grow. And if we're not growing, we're dying. So most people are dying because they quit growing, and they're staying in a rut, closed into this, what they think the world or people around them think you should be, or, taking on, so many people, I have to go to college and university and blah, 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 but a lot of parents will send their kids to these courses or trainings before they'll put any money into an education, because they don't know what they want to go, and into these indoctrination centers, be an accountant, a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, it's all mental stuff. And most young people change their mind. They often go into the healing arts, and they can support themselves. And it's about embodying. It's not about becoming a practitioner. Obviously that can happen, but it's about studying yourself. And there's no greater book on the planet than you are. And there's no greater subject for you to study is yourself and your reactions to your life experiences. And that's what we do in my online program that Agnieszka and I developed, called Body Awakening Method. And it's 16 modules taking you through all your life experiences, asking the right questions. Yeah, and Agnieszka did develop most of that course. So, and she was my videographer, except some of our sound went off once in a while, but that was quite an experience. It took a long time to talk to a camera, it's just and blah, 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 blah.
To think about the shitty equipment we had back there in comparison to what we have now is like night and day. The sound went off, not because of anything. It was because the mic wasn't picking up when you turned your head 30 degrees to the left.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really love that picture you've painted, and especially that I've noticed that affirmations don't particularly work, very powerfully. I've tried that. Whatever, I have mantras or whatever, but just thinking an affirmation or something is gonna make a powerful change. Didn't really work for me so much. And then also that you've actually hit it on the nose of correcting my own language. So thank you for pointing out that it's the mission. And I do have that written as part of my own goal seeking, is I phrased it that way, to figure out what's the mission, what's the, that I should be on. So thank you.
And they sent you in the right spaceship on this mission, right? Yeah. With the right tools.
For sure. But it just,
understand it. And you aspire to higher things in life just by your face shape, but you're super sensitive how you interact. And it's about staying grounded. And you really do. It's almost like the divine feminine, with a little bit more sensitivity in the lower part of the physical part of your face. It's more inverted triangle. So you like to listen to other people's point of view, and you're flexible that way in the mental zone. So, but you have a lot in the emotional zone, all in through here.
Yeah. Fascinating. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your insight.
Wonderful. Holly?
Hi, Carol. How are you? I've met you once before. I've taken Agnieszka's class. I just thought I'd pop in for this one because I love you and wanted to see you again. And I also wanted to give Agnieszka more space for newer students because I would take her class over and over and over again,
Yeah.
if I could, just to brush up on it. I have just recently been doing a lot of life changes myself, and I'm pulling back from being on site and being the big tough first aid attendant construction safety officer. And my current mission right now is to bring food sovereignty back to people, help them, remind them how to grow food and how to preserve it and how to maintain, like taking back their power to feed themselves and not giving it away to the grocery truck, i.e. the government. So that's my current mission right now.
And where are you?
I'm in British Columbia in the Vancouver area. I'm in Maple Ridge right now. So really good
Yeah.
growing space. So I'm just today is the day where I'm going to start calling people actually networking some more locally. It's finally stopped raining, so I'm going to get out there a bit.
Yeah, and they just flipped the food pyramid, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
also yesterday, Trump brought in, it was an executive order, whatever, of whole milk in schools now. I thought it was raw milk, but I think it's whole milk that he was, and all schools, no skim milk, no nothing. It's got to be whole milk. So it's one step closer.
Yeah, I think that it really helped that we have somebody like the Kennedy guy quietly working away and picking
Yeah.
away at all the old perspectives, taking them apart and, readjusting the sails to help with the massive obesity problem that's happening right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, they don't need a new healthcare system in the States. What they need is just to get healthy because they're the worst.
And Canada's the same too. And we're not far behind. Anything that's
No.
happening in the US is Canada's right behind them. I do believe somebody asked AI how far Canada was from being a communist country like Venezuela, and they said we're 11 years behind them to
Yeah.
being in the same situation as Venezuela. So that's just lovely to know where our country's headed.
Sad. I love Canada, so that's my country too. So it's even though we can live elsewhere, but it's still I'm yeah, a patriot to Canada, put it that way. So
Yeah, I've realized that through my travels, I did do a lot of traveling last year, is that I need to be near the mountains and the rivers. That's my home. I need the mountains around me. I can't be in the prairies where you can see forever, and I'd rather be on the top of a mountain seeing forever. So that's been a little bit of a life lesson to me in that sense, to know exactly where you belong. Because I was raised by a hippie commune, so I lived out of a garbage bag basically, and we traveled a lot, so I've been very rootless my entire life.
oh, where was that? In BC?
It was in BC, Alberta, and my dad was American, so he went when the housing crashed in the 80s. We went all the way around the States as well. So I did travel a lot as a kid, just following the work, basically construction. My dad was a building construction, housing. So I did that, and then I didn't fall far from the tree as I'm a medic and a construction safety officer. So
Oh, that your soul gathers up all these skills for this period at this time. And that's why, even in Body Awakening Method, we list everywhere you worked and what did you learn from each job or each thing that even your certificates. And we really do a life review and inventory your whole life. And you realize your body picked up all these skills. And I use the example for myself that I worked in a Rexall Drugs when I was 15. So what did I learn from that? Confidentiality. Because I was in high school and we were a really small town of 5,000 people in Manitoba. And all the guys would be coming in and they didn't want me to see that they were buying condoms because I knew all their girlfriends, you know, so you have to zip up, you know. But you see, so I, you know, each one you learn what did I learn from each job and each skill, and it brings you to who you are now. And because we gather skills, and this work, psychosomatic therapy and face reading, is a skill. Anyone can learn it. You don't have to be intuitive or psychic to learn it. So it's very grounded, very down to earth, and then you can use your intuition and your sense, you know, your clairvoyancy, all your different clairaudio, claircognizant. You can use all those skills in a much deeper way, and you honor them a lot more. So for Holly, I would suggest to you is to do some lower voice stuff, and it's more grounding. Otherwise, you're quite high in your voice. And so I have people get on their hands and knees and either bark like a dog or moo like a cow.
You know that really deep inner child workshop I was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's definitely something I'll put into my practice, as well as I do my morning yoga and the So I try to get my voice down when I do the
So
yeah, because
I'll put that in as well.
your body is the speaker and you amplify, but you're also toning your own flesh. So that's why we use the voice, the inflection of the voice. And otherwise, if you're just all monotone, nobody's going to listen, right? You lose people. So we change our voice, but we're all frequency, right? And a vibration, and your body vibrates with the voice, you know, and so it's really important, but not just staying high. You also want someone that just all does it all very low, you know, you want them to vary the voice, because your inner chakras is actually like a flute, and you're playing the flute, and you're actually like a snake charmer, and you're charming the kundalini to work up through the body with your tone.
Okay, noted. I will be adding some of those to my morning practice, and my neighbors will be wondering why I'm starting to bark like a dog.
Yeah, or mooing like a cow. They'll come milk you. Don't let them come and milk you.
It's all about moving your voice deep into your body. Right? Like something from the diaphragm, not from the stomach. And it also, if you can speak from the diaphragm, it's less tiring as well.
And even lower, like pull in your gut. You're pulling in the lower chakras, and you want to move that energy up through, and it takes sound to move energy.
That's why you tell them to sound like a car, because they have to move that energy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Move. Yeah. You sound better already, Holly. When you first started, it was very high. Now it's just awareness. When you're aware of it now, it'll work, right? But if you're not aware.
I have I get anxious when I'm on camera. So when somebody calls me, I'm very high and I'm very anxious. Part of my challenge is to do my recordings for my company and things like that. People are like, well, you've got the script and you write everything out beautifully. Can't you just turn on the camera and talk? I'm like, I struggle with that. That's something that I'm going to be working on, and working on using these chakras more and get out of my head and more into my heart.
Now I get into your vagina. Come on.
But we all kind of struggle with that at different levels. I think that even Carole struggles with that sometimes, like going on camera, like doing content all the time it's big challenge, right? So it's not like, you know, yeah, we're all struggling with that. I'm struggling with that.
I find it hard just to talk with no audience. That's why let's have a conversation. And I do a show once a week. It comes out Friday mornings. And what I do is on Tuesday, I have an Ask Me Anything Tuesday. And so we'll get 12, 15 people on, and, you know, every like Tuesday mornings. And then I do about 20 minutes of teaching. content, and I record that part, and then I turn the cameras off, and then we have another hour of just conversation, or people can come just for that 20-minute teaching, which varies. This last one, what did I do this last one? I can't even remember. Oh, forehead lines, maybe. No, that was last week. We did forehead lines. It's not all face reading, definitely. Some weeks it's the thighs. Sometimes I talk about the toes, or hip cock, the hip area of the body. And it's always changing, right? So yeah, it's it's giving information, and I use that for my shows. But I'm still talking to. I know there's 20 people with their cameras off. And so, it's full conversation, and then they can ask questions after, and they don't have, they turn the cameras on, and it's more personal then, right? So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, where I find it a lot easier to talk to a room of people, even if it is online, than sitting in a room by myself talking about my craft or trying to convey information. It's so much easier to have somebody else there, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question about embodiment? But I know that's really a challenge for me, because since this last year, I really got very much in my head. So I know kind of that being embodied, being really present, is something I really need to develop to become really true to my capabilities and my being. But I lost track somewhere last year.
It's so easy right now because the narratives are going in every different direction in the countries all over the world. I mean, who's ever even studied or ran, never mind Venezuela. And, I do them all because, part of that kind of looking at that avenue. I mean, it's fascinating what's going on. But here again, we have to really, all of this stuff going on in the world, the frequencies, even the consciousness can take us off balance. And it's easier just to get into your head than try to feel in the body, right? So it's about, it happens when, let's say in the 14-day training, we really get people in their body. And it's different for each person. But when you study your body in the flesh and you're studying other people, you have to come home because someone's in your underwear drawers. What are they looking at? What are they, when it's really a type of meditation when you're reading another person, and because you're focusing, it's teaching you to focus and how to speak to another person to what you see, right? And do it it teaches you compassion, but then you learn compassion for ourselves. And we come home. You have to come home. So,
okay.
And you get raw and you get real in the emotions. It's the emotions that we're trying to avoid. So most people live in their head. They're not in their bodies. Yeah. And we're this is your vehicle. You got to get in the driver's seat. Most people are hovering above the roof of the vehicle. So not even, they're, and it's a training. You got to train yourself. We're not coaches. We're trainers, and very different, a lion trainer. So it's, the coaches are more mental, and like every hockey team or soccer team, they all have a trainer and they all have a coach. One does the mental and one does the physical. We're the physical.
Okay.
And your body tells us. I mean, Agnieszka understands this. You can say something to someone in the training, and all of a sudden you'll see a red line just shoot up all the way one side of the body, or the whole neck will start to turn red on one side or white even. And you can tell that energy is coming up through the body, because the body understands you're talking to another body, not to the mental part. And it's soul to soul. There's this communication. And the body will say, hey, look here. look here, all of a sudden, or a toe will lift and we can tell, or a hand gesture, the thumb might go in. Well, we can tell they're insecure. As soon as that, get your thumb out. And then it's the awareness. Oh God, I did that, and a baby sucks their thumb when they're insecure. An adult will pull the thumb back, and especially when you're doing public speaking or not being able to communicate. And, your children, all the people around you are reading you at some level. And your insecurities, I mean, if you're sitting there like this, or, you're torqued out, they're reading you at a subconscious level. Why not read consciously? But it's not about their body language. It's what is your body language saying to you. And then that awareness can shift. And it's through that shift that you can grow and start changing things in our lives. Our languaging is so important. Everything is, each part is so important, our belief systems. And then if we can let all that go, and hopefully they let all the religions go too, because we're now in not only a spiritual war, now it's a religious war going on with everything in the world.
Yeah.
Christianity is screaming, the Charlie Kirk thing, and it's just like blah blah, Yeah. So yeah, they're so many people are stuck in their own belief systems, and why not just be open to everything? I love listening to all of them. I love to see what are the Catholics thinking, what are the Jewish people thinking, so I'll listen to all different, because that's about, we study human behavior, and that's definitely part of human behavior, especially when you get into the chakra system. I mean, when you base chakra and the consciousness is poverty consciousness, sacral is victim consciousness, and solar plex is savior consciousness. And so many people are stuck in this savior consciousness right now. Oh, Jesus is going to come flying out of a cloud and, take you home or save you. No, 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 no. And you have to save yourself. And he's here to say, walk in the Christ consciousness. And when you get to the heart, it's about authenticity. It's not about love. It's to love yourself, definitely, because you can't love another person. It's impossible. You can love your reaction to them, but it's your reaction. And you always love your reaction to each person. And I could say, well, I love this rose, but does the rose love me? No, it's the crown and glory of of creation. I don't even like to use the word God, because God got us. It's the creation, right? Yeah, and I can say I love a baby. Oh, I love this baby, but does the baby love me? No, it's the crown and glory. I love my reaction to the baby, but it's my reaction. When I was married, I didn't always love my reaction to my partner. So I'm divorced, probably.
I think maybe there's other people who'd like to talk to you. For example, John or Jill, or maybe even Noelle, if she can.
There's John. Oh, another.
Agnieszka, do you mind if I go?
Yeah, you can go, Jill. I know it's getting late for you.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's only 7 in the evening.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you see, I'm working as well when I'm finishing up, or when you've started. I mean, I'm still working. But I'm really moved by what you just said, Carole, about not loving, because I've often thought, I care a great deal about people. My behavior would show that I care, but I often don't feel like what is love. There's a couple of songs in the 80s or whatever about that. So I'm really, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by love, and you don't really love someone else? Because I really relate to that. I care about people. I want people in my life. I want people to enjoy coming to my home, cooking for them. And I often wondered, is that about me or is it about them? So is it selfish or what?
No, well, we want to be self-wish. Who else are you going to wish for? You're the most important person in your world. So to love, love is a feeling, and you can't feel someone else's feelings, but you can feel your reaction to their feelings. So it's it's about loving your reaction to that person you see in the mirror every day of your life, and start owning that. And the rest, of course, you care, and you want to be part of. You like their energy field too, because when you come together, you're sharing energy, and each person you meet, or each person is brings out a different part of you. It brings out different dimensions or different facets of your diamond, because you are the diamond. And some you polish and some you can let go of, because you don't like your reaction to some people. And a lot of it can even be just meeting them for the first time, and you just, no, I don't like this feeling, but it's a feeling. I'm not drawn to that person, right? So just realizing and caring is beautiful, but it's your reaction. And they do it for different reasons too, right? Not like that woman, remember in Mark's event, there was a woman protesting outside or something. And it said, oh, he was a racist, he was this, he was that. And then it said, oh, and he tells people to drink bleach or something. And I said, I walked past her. I says, bleach? I says, that's for rookies. I says, I drink borax.
I remember that is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the two crazy ladies outside.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just lit something up in my mind that I'd never thought. It's like you've answered something. I've been feeling guilty that I don't always feel this love feeling, and yet I care. And then there's other times I'm really irritated by someone and they're irritated with me or whatever. And I'm like going, what is actually love?
Yeah. Well, we throw the word
I don't
around
want to
a lot.
harm anyone. That's one thing I know, is I don't want to harm, even if I'm cross and a bit angry. The end of the day is like, I don't want anyone to be harmed by me anyway. Yeah.
I would sit in that, just people throw that love word around a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't say to people, oh, love you. I'll just say, I love my reaction to you. But it's my reaction. Okay, John, if you, did you?
I'll say hi. Hi, I'm Noelle.
Oh, hi, Noelle.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. I've been loving Agnieszka's class so far. I mean, when you hear like being able to read face and body, it's like, how can you not be intrigued, right? And then I didn't realize there was going to be all this stuff about the parent to the inner child, and that's been really speaking to me a lot, because I had kind of difficult relations with my parents, so I don't think I was the best inner parent to myself. So it's kind of nice to be getting that awareness and learning about that.
Well, Agnieszka is all about an inner child. She's got that energy of naiveness and innocence, and she loves to play. Tell you that.
Yeah, I love Agnieszka's playfulness. We've been hanging out a lot lately, and she's a lot of fun.
Well, that's right. Naive meaning she's youthfulness. It's doesn't have to be mental. When someone's too mental, right? So,
no, I'm cool with that description. I think that's totally accurate. But I also think it's very deceptive, because a lot of people will see one side of me and then be confused by my knowledgeability. They cannot it cannot coincide. Yeah, okay.
It's like that with Barry too, right?
Sorry, I'm going to text you, but I'm on a show right now.
I muted her. So, hello, Halina. Welcome. You're a little bit late. We started an hour ago, but there will be a replay, so you can still talk to Carole right now. Are you in Europe?
Yes, I'm in London. Sorry, I was starting now. Oh, bless. Okay.
Yes, sorry about that. But so just so you know, every Thursday we're going to be doing these labs with the same link, and they're all going to be starting an hour ago.
Okay.
For the European crowd. Yeah. Let me just unmute Carole.
Oh, there we go.
I had to mute you because we could hear what you were saying, so I muted.
Okay. Someone gave me a shopping list for this morning, and because they have a newborn, so she wanted like it was about 10 dozen eggs. I said, who eats that many eggs in a week?
Well, when you're rebuilding your body, you might need all that collagen.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all good. I think John's ready for his turn. Look at him. He's what? He's all eager, leaning forward.
Oh.
Am I? Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Is that what I'm doing? I'm just, get out of my way. I'm going to talk now. No.
Yeah.
So I was curious. I've been hearing you talk about some of the things that you read and some of the things that you do, but what are the types of things that you read when you read someone's face? Specific examples of things that you see when you read a body. What are the things that come up? For the owl in me is very curious about that.
Well, when you're reading, I mean, every book is different, right? Every person is different. So, I mean, we're reading overall face shape, prominent feature, forehead lines, eyebrows, eyes. And I often will like sometimes you can see it in the feet and you can see it in the hands. So it just depends. So if I'm seeing something in a person, especially I would say a little bit more in reading a body. If they're hollow between the shoulder blades, I will look down and the top of the foot, just above the ball of the foot, will be hollow in there. So that person hasn't got enough pats on the back or enough acknowledgement in life. And so they're breathing to the front of their chest. They're not breathing to the back between the shoulder blades. We give everyone their corrections. We're not just reading them. You have to, otherwise, you can read a book, but if you do nothing about it. So we need to give them corrections on each part and how to release it, but how to maintain. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but it's
it begins to. I think that's pretty functional. If you when you see someone doesn't have enough pats on the back, then you go into the corrections of, okay, well, how do you address that? And so you would give them. Somebody just knocked at the door. I think I've got a delivery. You would give them ways to deal with that. So
that's the most important, is because you can read all the books, Louise Hayes and everything else, what's going on for someone, or even the emotional, but what do you do about it, right?
Yeah.
So how do you grow a backbone, or how do you stand up for yourself, and how you use the mechanics of the body to do that correction, to hold a correction. Otherwise, people go to a chiropractor and everyone's a pain in the neck, but they go get it fixed, but they go get off the chiropractor's bed or chair or bed, and they still do this. So they have to go back next week again because they haven't done the correction.
Yeah.
And but every person is different, and you see it in different parts of the body.
So
they're knocking on my door. I'm sorry.
Hang on a second.
It's one of those days. I get 2 phone calls.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, but like whenever we are looking at, like, say we notice that someone has a hollow in their back, then we would look at their lips if they're not speaking up about themselves, right? Then we would look at their feet if they're grounded or not grounded. Like, depending on the situation, if you can see those parts, like, I mean, if they're wearing army boots, we cannot check their feet. Maybe we'd look at their hands then. You know what I mean? It's all like, it goes wherever the attention catches it, And also, sorry, go ahead, Carole.
It seems like in the energy field, even with another person, it's almost like their soul tells my soul to tell my personality to tell their personality. The souls communicate, and it's like a soul to soul intuitive telepathy. And I'm claircognizant, so whatever, I just open my mouth, whatever comes out, good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of, it's something that I'm supposed to say to them. So everyone is different, and everyone's gifts are different, and how their body communicates to me. So there's not even one class that's the same, because everyone's different. So it might say, oh, look here, look there. All of a sudden, I'm not sure why. I don't do it intentionally. It's like my eyes just go there and something jumps out at me, right? If someone's twiddling their ring or something like that, it means something different. And it depends what you're speaking about in the moment at the same time. If someone's talking about their spouse and they're kind of getting nervous, they might, twiddle their ring or something, pull it in and out. You see these things, and we just trust in ourselves that the right thing is going to come out. And that's another thing. You can never, just like you can't love another person, you can't trust another person. The only thing you can do is trust your reaction to the other person. And otherwise, you can't trust me. I might go to McDonald's and blow it up. Who knows, right? We used to use that. Herman used to always say, you can't trust me. I'd go and blow up McDonald's.
You would too.
For many reasons, but
not quite sure what that means, blowing out McDonald's, but
it's you don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm at in life, right? The situation, blow up, it's the extreme.
He really didn't like fast food.
When you, I agree with you in terms of a lot of things. There's Rolfing, there's chiropractic. You can physically align the body and get it correct, but the patterns, the muscle memory, the habits, that you just go right back into it. And it's so clear to see people doing. It's like you can tell. People. I see a lot of people like this. That just means you're in front of the computer a lot, and so you gotta correct things like that. Do you have exercises to counterbalance these things? Do you say, okay, move in a specific way, or is it more mental, emotional corrections?
No, it's emotional, physical, but mentally you have to be aware of it. Mm-hmm. So we work on all 4 levels, but most people will do spiritual, physical, and mental, but they won't do the emotional part. Mm-hmm. They've shut that door, and they've numbed it. So if you think of your body as a house, and you have many rooms, that you closed that door 30 years ago and don't want to deal with what's going on in that area or in that body or that room. So we got to open that door and see what the root cause is emotionally. And then the muscles are messengers. And when you connect that, when it started, the root of it, you can release it. The body will release it. And then it's easier even to go into the posture corrections and how you walk and how you stand and how you breathe and how you use the mechanics. Most people are still got their feet in 2 different directions. And they're splitting. The left and right brain are going in 2 different directions. We need a wheel alignment and get the feet straight. And you start walking, and how we walk is on the balls of our feet. Not on our heels, heel toe. It's on the balls of the feet, so that you create a pump in the lymphatic system, which is around the ankles. And you're using the muscles that start to move against each other. Otherwise, most of them are stuck together because they're going heel toe, and they're not burning off the fatty tissue and using that energy. So that's the energy you can pump up through the body. Or do we get big solid thighs and our calves are huge because they've been trying to stand their ground from a really young age? They don't want to conform. And so that energy is stuck in the body. So yes, there's definitely all the mechanical part of it. We put people on plumb lines and give them all their readjustments, everything, but we have to deal with the emotional first, the emotional, where we see what's stored in the body and where, and you can either share your story or not share the story, but the connection's already there and the muscle will start to release it. And then we teach people, like in the 14 days, we also treat them trigger point therapy, emotional release trigger point, where we actually trigger it out of the body. And then, of course, it's easier and easier to get into alignment because you've released the tension in the muscle system. And not just going, lots of people will go for deep, deep massage, and you know, they'll feel it, but they haven't connected it, the conscious with the subconscious. So it just goes back into that same pattern, John, what you said earlier, that's correct. It just goes back into a pattern because they haven't dealt with the core issue, where you get the big ahas. Oh, that's when it started. That's when it started, right? And then it becomes lifelong because this is a skill you learn for the rest. This is the rest of your life because it never stops because your body continues to keep teaching you, whether you know, I mean, I can still stub my toe and I'll say, where was I? Probably wasn't, I was out of my body. So it's not like it's that it corrects everything. It's just that now I have a full communication with my body. I have a full conversation. I'm not in my head. Of course, I can get into my head very easy, but I can also drop my consciousness. And when you're in the jungle here or in nature, every step you take is a conscious step. Or you can twist your ankle or break it or whatever, because there's rocks, everything's uneven. And you have to be very conscious the way we walk. Does that answer some of
that answers a lot. I want to add to what you're saying, but I don't think I need to do that. It basically is a lot of what we hold in our body is, comes from trauma, comes from whatever, and you're identifying it, giving you physical ways to release it, as well as the emotional, the spiritual, the mental ways, the mentally addressing it. You're putting them all together, and allowing someone to either remember it if they've forgotten it, address it if it happened pre-verbal, and it just you just work through all of those things.
Yeah, right. It just makes all those other things 100 times more powerful. I mean, that's like we can take all the superfoods we want and the best supplements, but you're putting it in a rundown vehicle. So change the vehicle and those other things become 100 times more powerful. Even I was telling that on Mark's show the other day was, he's got all the hyperbolic chambers and every, thing possible in his 5D healing center. But I said, but they do all that work and go into all the machines and they still go out there all torqued and crooked and monkey on their back. And, if they dealt with their body first, and then those machines become 100 times more powerful because you got to use the body correctly. So that energy, that can move energy, definitely. But you go back into the same pattern, or you've cut off your body so that you've got or you're busting your back to please other people, or you're giving away your power, or bending over backwards, or those are all things when you're aware, then you can change those patterns as you connect them. And that takes practice and awareness. I still straighten my feet after 25 years. I mean, sometimes, they can standing, okay, but then now I look at someone else's stance and quickly before I correct them, I better straighten my own feet, right? So these are, and it's done with fun. Psychosomatics isn't we don't say your gluteus maximus is tight. That's brain candy. No, we say you're a friggin' tight ass. We can't even slide a credit card through that crack. Never mind pinch a penny out of that piggy bank. And it's a hear feel word. We don't say you're angry. We say, oh, your liver is burning. The body gets it. And we got to use grade 2 language, grade 3 language, because that's how we get to the subconscious mind.
Yeah, it's interpretive, right? You're interpreting what you're seeing as opposed to just, doing
Mentally.
okay, well, this is tight, let's loosen that. Okay, massage over. Okay, great. There's a reason for it and it's interpretive. Okay.
Just makes it so much more powerful. And if you're a body worker, the more you've done the work on yourself and understand what areas of the body that this person is held in at a subconscious level, they start to release it too. Or you can just say a few words, hey, what happened here, right? Do you bust your back to please other people? And then, they'll start crying, they'll release it because they get that realization. Yes, I have. So.
Okay. And that combined with the methodology, very useful. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So would you have any advice for somebody who is like too mental and has a problem, like anchoring in the body? Like even as a small child, I remember not feeling like anchored into my body. Do you have any like advice or suggestions on how to get more into your body?
Well, for one, you might not want to meditate as we are taught to meditate. If you're going to meditate, don't try to fight your mind. Give it something to do. Meditate in your big toe and bring your consciousness down into the flesh and give it something to do. The brain will go down and just say good morning to your big toe. And then the second toe, we call it body scanning. But it's really to get, a lot of people meditate and they fight with their brain trying to give nothing, go into the nothingness. No, give it something to do. You didn't come here to do nothing. You came here to anchor the consciousness in your own flesh. You can't do it in another person. You can assist people or you can empower them. Like I shouldn't say assist because I'm very mindful of my language. I don't help anyone and I don't support anyone. I'm here to empower them because they have the power within. And it's just bringing people home and seeing the beauty of their own body. But it's depends how far you want to go within yourself, because that's what we're here for. And that's the transition right now. It's stay home, stay home, stay home. Why did they tell you to stay home for 2 friggin' years? And woke a lot of people up, that's for sure. What's going on in my own house? What am I doing? How? Otherwise, we were living in the outer world, really. I mean, people are watching movies and TV and sports. That's all outer world stuff, entertainment to keep you busy, so you don't stay home in your own flesh.
Yeah.
And children
I like that. Yeah, because I definitely struggle with the nothing meditation, so I'll try that. Thank you.
Part of my online program, there is what we call body scanning, and I'm using 432 hertz, and in sound we switched from 440, right? They took us out.
Yeah.
A lot of people know that, how it really distorts the static within ourselves using 440 hertz. 432 is the healing one, and it sounds very different.
It was that wizard we met in Sedona that told us about that, right? That there was a guy whose job it was to make this empowering music of the wrong vibration. And he worked for what was it? Some kind of a government body.
Who's the wizard?
No, the guy that made the bad music.
Oh, yeah. No, it was part of Operation Paperclip, I think.
Yeah.
We won't go into politics.
Anybody else wants to touch base with Carole before she has to run off?
Yes, I'll say something. I don't have a camera on this computer, so I apologize for that. But something that you said that certainly resonated with me was your bones are the map of your soul. Is that how you said that?
The blueprint of your soul.
Blueprint.
Yeah.
So in my case, I have been I've really pushed the limits of my body in many different ways, but I've never broken a bone. I've been in car accidents, motorcycle accidents, all kinds of different things that would, should have tested broken bones, but I've never done that. What what does that indicate about me? I'm not like a 4x4. I'm probably like a Mack truck. What does that mean about my soul?
Well, you have a very strong soul then. When you a break in the bone structure is something for the soul here to learn. And I think you just have a very strong blueprint. I mean, it's when you think of the chassis of a vehicle, just the framework, would be your bone structure. If you think of a house, the 2x4s, and that is the shape that house, whether it's a ranch house or a high rise, right? It all has different purposes. So far you would be, I would say, is integrity really important to you?
Definitely.
Yeah. So integrity is, people think that it's just a value, but to me, integrity is like a 2x4. You want a whole 2x4. If it's all full of holes, it would be out of integrity, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you have a very strong soul. And if you've been through so many accidents or incidences in the outer world, you would want to write all those things down on a piece of paper, let's say, and what did you learn from each one and what was going on in your life at that time when those things happened, and really acknowledge that your soul is so strong.
When you asked him that question, I thought, oh no, he only teaches a course called Ethical Emergence.
Oh, really?
Yes. The other thing I wanted to say to Michael is that I was reading something the other day, and apparently during the witch trials in Europe, they didn't just test if you drown. Like one of the tests, if you're a witch, they would throw you in the water, and if you drowned, then you're human. But if you didn't drown, then you're a witch, right? If you float on water. The other test that they did is if somebody's never broken a bone, then that's definitely suspicious where it comes to magic. So
we're coming for Mike.
That's actually good, right?
We're gonna throw him in the
Yeah.
the lake now.
Yeah.
Just don't do those tests on me, because I've never broken a bone either.
You could be a time traveler too. That
I also float on water.
Yeah, a time traveler that has learned already.
Yeah, if anybody should have broken a bone, it would have been Mike, honestly. The life he lived. He started racing motorcycles when he was 5.
Wow.
Like, and then he went in the military, and then he was in construction. If anybody would have broken a bone, it would have been Mike. But apparently there's a certain percentage of the population that just don't break bones, and nobody really knows why.
Well, when you're driving motorcycles, you have to be very conscious of what you're doing. So yeah, it's using the mechanics also and doing construction. You have to stay in your body to do that, and you're not going up in your head as much. So even with the incidents or accidents, boy, you're lucky, that's for sure. Not lucky. You're not meant to. Yeah, it's not part of your lessons, put it that way. Knock on wood.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Anybody who's been holding on to something who hasn't said it, this is the time.
I just realized it's interpretive like dreams. You interpret this stuff like people would interpret dreams. That was an observation I made just now, and I wanted to share that.
But I think it's more formulaic. In dreams, everything is nebulous depending on the type of dream or whatever, right? Versus in psychosomatic therapy, we know a tendency of flesh because of the chakra, because of there's reasons. It's not like a mattress means you're going to die. It's not like that. I don't know. Sometimes dream interpretation, I know there's psychological dream interpretation, but there's sometimes it goes a little bit far out, in my opinion.
Yeah, they told us not to daydream. Well, I think we shouldn't be having dreams at night. We should be daydreaming and dream ourselves into our own reality. And they told us in school, no daydreaming, don't use your imagination. We're here to use our imagination. And if everyone would start dreaming or wake up from the nightmare that's going on, you wake up into the beauty of where we are in life and why we're here at this time. Wow. I mean, and that's because you can create your own reality. And people say, no, you can't create your own reality. Yes, you can. You can dream it into fruition, but you got to feel it. And they forgot to put the secret in the secret. You know, it's not about the law of attraction. It's about feeling
taking the first step.
Yeah.
And taking the first step. You can't just feel it and sit back. You have to take the first step.
Yeah, it's about feelings, because feelings are magnetic and you've got to draw those things to you. Otherwise, if it's just law of attraction, doing it mentally, that's electrical. We have enough friggin' thoughts in our head, 4 billion a day, but the body is magnetic and you're drawn to someone's energy field because they're more in their body. It's more magnetic because magnetic is about feelings. That's why they took copper away from us too, because copper is a great conduit for emotions, and it's all about water. Water is emotion. Water is the womb. It's the sacral chakra. Yeah, that's what I drink out of. Always copper. It's like it's in there for 12 hours before. Even my cat is copper, and I think copper is going to be worth more than gold.
Do you put distilled water into copper, or because I was wondering if that would be a good idea. Distilled water might not be a good idea.
Yeah, it would just be copper because it's not getting all the other minerals. But I mean, I live in Costa Rica up in the mountains. We've got
you can just get the stream
cleanest
water.
Yeah, cleanest water and the freshest air. So I use that. So, but I do filter it. And I bought the ones with candles with that take out the fluoride, even though they don't put fluoride in the water here. But, you know, I don't know what agricultural chemicals they're using or whatever. So I just got those. And it's they put the fluoride in the salt here. So I don't eat their salt. I carry my own Celtic sea salt.
They don't put the fluoride in the beach salt. You know, when the people sell bags of salt on the beach, they don't put fluoride in that, but they put the fluoride in all the salt in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Even the sea salt, natural Himalayan, they just stick the fluoride in there. So, but like the regular people don't put fluoride in their salt.
My cat's looking at me. Where's my food?
Well, anybody last comments, last observations before we let Carole go? She stayed so long. She's a wonderful person. I appreciate her very much.
Well, it was lovely meeting all of you, and maybe we'll see you in Costa Rica sometime, and maybe Agnieszka will come down too.
Maybe. Let them unmute. Anybody wants to unmute?
It was great. I think I would love to come to Costa Rica. Sounds good.
Yeah, you can go to heavenandearthsanctuary.com and you can
I put it in the chat.
Oh, good. Okay.
Sorry, my dogs are barking.
I just wanted to say thank you to Carole. It was lovely seeing you.
Yeah.
And I would love to get to Costa Rica someday. Unfortunately, I have this massive dog that I cannot bring on the plane unless he goes in cargo, and I wouldn't do that to him. Plus, I don't want to be separated from him. So it's something that would be in the cards, but not anytime soon. But I do love seeing you, and I appreciate all your help today.
Yeah, you can go to my website and sign up on the lightworkersinstitute.com and get that free ebook. Yeah, the Your Body Never Lies. It's about 30 pages, and it's got a lot of corrections right in that book and meanings of different body types. And Agnieszka did a beautiful job of that book.
I think I might have used some charts from that book in some of my handouts, like for the free intro sessions, but like it's not the whole thing. So still go get it, because it's not, I don't cover all of that in, yeah. So I guess we're done for the day. I'm going to stop the recording